and welcome. It is time to live every day with me. I'm not Liv. I'm Kate Cocker here, in for Liv, as she is gallivanting her way around the world on holiday. I'm assuming that's where she is, or that's what she's doing anyway. So she's let me take over this space on Backchannel to spend the morning with you. So good morning, welcome. It is Thursday. Can you believe we've made it to this point of the week together? It was early night Wednesdays for me last night, so it was a nice, good, resting sleep. I'm starting to discover in my old age that early night Wednesdays is required to get me through to late night Fridays. Otherwise, I'm no fun whatsoever. So I'm here with you, ready for some fun today and tomorrow, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning as well, Eastern time. And yeah, looking forward to spending the next hour with you, doing this with you, live every day. So remember that you can chat with me. Please chat with me. Please chat with me. You can chat with me. Simply say to your device, say, Kate, I love these little pink bits in your hair. And I'll get a message direct to my screen and we can have a whole conversation. I'll be sticking to kind of Liv's things, the stuff that she does. It's Tell the Truth Thursday today, obviously. So we'll be getting back to that in a minute. And don't forget that obviously, if you are watching on Backchannel in North America, you can ask your Amazon Echo to say, Kate, I love your hair. And I'll be able to respond in real time as well. If you are not on Backchannel, then you can always go to backchannel.tv and get in on the chat. So I've got the screen in front of me here. I can see we've got Melinda, Doug, and Riley in the building. Thank you very much for listening as well. And I am looking forward to spending the next couple of hours with you. Oh, and the other person that is very important in this whole thing is producer Anna. I get to see what producer Anna thinks in the chat. She says hello to me and she tells me what to do. So you can do the same. You can produce me as well if you like. Don't forget, you could just say to your device, say, Kate, come on, pull yourself together. Okay, so I'm here today for the next 2 hours. I'm going to be doing an hour of Live Every Day and then an hour of my normal show, Everyday Positivity Island. I do a podcast called Everyday Positivity, which is a daily podcast that is designed to help you feel good every day. I always think sometimes we just need a bit of a reminder to be kind to ourselves, don't we? And I know I did. So that's why I set up Everyday Positivity. So it's quite nice, actually, because I love that Liv's show is called Live Every Day and that I do Everyday Positivity. So maybe when I'm covering Liv in the future, we could just be Live Everyday Positivity or something like that. Okay, so it's Tell the Truth Thursday today. Liv is off. I'm going to take over today, tomorrow. I've introduced myself so you know who I am. I'm based here in the UK. I'm in Manchester in England. So it's kind of afternoon time here. And I can tell you right now, it's a lovely grey day in Manchester. We like a grey day in Manchester. We're a bit like Seattle. You know, we think of ourselves as a rainy city. Vancouver, Bergen in Norway, that's another one. All on the west coast, all of our respective countries and all slightly more rainy than other parts of the world. But we like to think of the grey skies and the rain as liquid sunshine. That's what we call it. I was in London this morning actually, and unfortunately it was very blue and very lovely and sunny. And I have a great word that describes this time of year, which is apricity. And apricity is when you get the sun on your face on a cold day. It's one of my favorite words. But this time of year, I don't know about where you are, but for us this time of year, it definitely feels like an apricitous kind of time. You know, the days are cold, but the sun is warm and you can feel the new dawn of a great year coming. It was very, Anna's saying yesterday was very misleading. There, bright and sunny, but very chilly. Yeah, apricity. That's the word you're looking for. It was an apricitous day. I don't know if apricitous is a word, but it is a word. Okay, so it's Tell the Truth Thursday today. So what is your truth today? I've got some stuff for you to help me solve later so we can get to the truth of it. But my truth for you today is I must be the only person in the UK, in England, that hates making tea. I hate making a cup of tea. And the reason this has come to light is because yesterday I went to London for some very important meetings, very important, you know. So I went to London for some really important meetings, and it was the first time we'd done those meetings in person. And what I forget about when you meet as a group, there is this moment where there's someone says, should we take a break? And then someone says, should we have who wants a cup of tea? And I found myself in the midst of the person who was making the cup of tea. So Mukti stood at the door saying, "Does anyone want a tea? Does anyone want a tea?" And we're all talking away. And then I, for some reason, in my enthusiasm, said, "Oh, I'll come and help you, Mukti." And so we went to make tea. And the stress of making a brew for the office, I'd completely forgotten. I mean, there were only 4 people, but it was okay. So, who wants a cup of tea? Who wants a cup of coffee? Do they want it decaffeinated? What type of milk do they want? How do they have it? And I don't know if you've ever made tea before, but if you haven't, there's this kind of very weird thing about um, how the color of the tea, but it's not just the color of the tea. So the color of the tea, you make your tea, you put a splash of milk in. That color that you end up with is how people describe how they want their tea. So it can be strong, but not very much milk, or it can be strong with lots of milk, or it can be weak with lots of milk, or weak with, or you could go no milk completely. And then people will say, "Oh, do you have sugar with that, or a sweetener, or whatever?" And so the stress of making a cup of tea really got to me. I'm a bit the same when it comes to a round. Like I do buy people rounds, but I get very stressed at the idea that I might forget someone or I forget something or I don't quite get the drink right. And it's such a short space of time, but it really stresses me out. So I want to know today. Well, first of all, go on, tell me, how do you have your tea? What's your favored drink to start a day? Because these days I'm very much a coffee drinker. And these days, I've got a very posh coffee maker in my in my kitchen. I'm actually going on a barista coffee course on Sunday, which I'll tell you more about next week. But don't ask me how that came about. Um, Anna's asking, you do each person's individual cup. There's a pot of coffee brew, of course. So yeah, this morning as well, when I went to go and get a coffee, this is how particular I am about my own coffee as well. I went to get a coffee and there was like just a corner shop with the hatch open and they were selling coffees, but it was like a jug of coffee like you would just put on, you pour the jug of coffee through and someone helps themselves. I was like, no, I want a proper latte, please. So I got on the tube in London and went the whole journey and then bought a coffee when I got there rather than buying the coffee there and then. So yeah, so we have you can make a pot of tea. You can make a pot of tea. That does work. But these days, because of the invention of tea bags, you tend to make each individual cup of tea yourself. So if you were serving tea, I suppose you take the pot of tea out, and then you've got to keep it warm. It's just not as simple and straightforward as a coffee. And don't get me wrong, like I'd take a coffee, a filter coffee, but I was like, right, I'm not going to treat myself to a latte this morning. But yes, so I want to know, what is your brew of choice of a morning? What is the one that gives you the most joy when you wake up in the morning and you go, is it coffee? Are you a tea drinker? Do you like a peppermint tea, for example, maybe, or a fruit tea or something like that? Or do you have a smoothie in the morning? What's your drink? Teresa's with me. Thanks, Teresa. You are the first messenger of the day, and I love you for it. Coffee with cream and a splash of vanilla syrup. Now, we have a hot chocolate place around the corner from us, and we've discovered that they make the best chocolate drops. And my son has got really good at making a dark chocolate, hot chocolate in a saucepan with some milk and a squirt of peppermint syrup. Peppermint syrup. Ooh, that's a good one. But it's not a morning drink, I don't think. It's one of those ones that on a Sunday afternoon when it's really cold and you get the cold in the tip of your nose and in the middle of your cheeks. That's the moment that you go, Louis, can you make us a hot chocolate? Louis is the name of my son. Coffee with cream and a splash of vanilla syrup. Now, the other one we have is we don't have half and half. Half and half? Is that how you say it? Is that right? We don't have half and half. Grass Puddle says black coffee. I'm easy. You see, I could have been easy this morning, but I was like, no, I'm going to go straight in for my cup of coffee. I'm going to go for the milky version. Are you an oat milk drinker? Are you an almond milk drinker? Are you a coconut milk drinker? What is your brew of choice to start your day? Blonde roast coffee Lavazza, says producer Anna, with some hazelnut creamer. Oh, now you've opened it right up. See, I thought coffee was straightforward. Like tea is very difficult to make by comparison. I don't think I've ever had a hazelnut syrup in a cup of tea, though. Maybe this is something that I need to try. So first of all, thank you for telling me your drink. So what is your drink of choice for a morning? How do you have it? What's your particulars? We need to know so that we can all get together and enjoy each other in the morning, right? But secondly, I want to know a bit of your truth. What's the thing you kind of hate doing? I like a hate doing. Do you know what I do? I hate getting gas at a gas station. I hate it. So in the UK, we get out the car, we put it in, and I hate doing it. It's such a simple job, but I hate doing it. It's like my least favorite household chore is to fill the car with petrol. And you will definitely find me riding around the block in my car, hoping that I can get somewhere on 1 mile left in the tank. And the number of times it's got to naught and I've kind of rolled into the gas station and got myself my petrol. But what's your truth? What is the thing that you kind of hate doing? That little thing, you're like, oh, I really shouldn't hate doing this. I really shouldn't hate getting everyone a cup of tea and doing a round of coffee or a round in the pub. But I really hate it. It drives me nuts. All right. So, well, Anna, let's not talk about the price of petrol. I should not have mentioned petrol really at a time like now. But $5, wow, yeah. Is coffee more expensive than petrol at the moment by litre or by pint or by gallon or whatever? I'm not sure, but we're not getting far off, are we? But point is, I just hate the physicality of standing at the car and going, right, let's put some petrol in. I just stand here. Folding laundry. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Grass Puddle, I wish I knew your full real name, but Grass Puddle says folding laundry and does this noise. Ugh. Correct noise for folding laundry. I hate changing the bedding, the sheets. Oh. So it goes number 1, getting petrol, number 2, changing bedding. And number 3, I don't think it's third in the list because it's not really a household chore, but doing the brew. So I used to laugh at work when I used to work in an office. I'd be like, I'm a brew taker, not a brew maker. I had to be really unashamed about it. I'm really sorry, but I'm not going to make you a cup of tea. No, not for me, I'm afraid. But yeah, brew maker, I am not. Brew taker, I am. And I used to like laugh and go, it's not because I'm selfish. It's just because I don't think, oh, I want a cup of tea. But these days, having not done it for such a long time and coming back to it, I realized that actually I think I've done that subconscious thing of I really hate making. I'm scared. I'm so scared of getting it wrong that I'm not gonna offer. Producer Anna says the job that she hates doing is putting my 1-year-old's toys and books back on a shelf 1,000,000 times a day. Why did I buy him so many toys? Oh man. Or like how can you make that process easier? That's what I would think. Like maybe put them in like no lids on things. I ban lids in my house because it's like it's never going to get put away if it's but lids. Lots of baskets. Yeah, there you go, producer. And tons of baskets over there. And also buying big toys is good. It's not like you want to develop their fine motor skills, right? This means small toys. That pincer action of your finger and your thumb means you've got to get a bunch of small toys. Teresa says, I hate cleaning the toilet. Weirdly, I'm quite good on that one. I get quite satisfied with it. Right, that toilet is clean. Flush and brush. I think it's a good one. Okay, who we got over here? We've got some people joining the stream. Welcome, Henry and Frank. Thank you very much. If you would like to take part in the show today, first of all, I want to know what's your drink of choice to start the day. I want to know what's your least favorite chore. Let's tell the truth because it's Tell the Truth Thursday. Let's get in there. Let's get in under the skin of each other and go, yeah, you know what? I really hate having to clean the toilet. I get that. I get that. Maybe my Tell the Truth Thursday is I quite like cleaning the toilet. I think it's a bit weird to quite like cleaning the toilet, isn't it? So let's get to know each other in this Tell the Truth space. Welcome, Emily, to the stream as well. If you want to take part in the show and you are watching live on Backchannel on your Amazon Echo, then don't forget to ask your Amazon Echo to say, I love cleaning the toilet, Kate. That kind of thing. The keyword is say. And also, from now on, I'm going to call her rather than your device. I'm going to call her Eliza. In our show on Positivity Island after when we'll be on after 9:00, Will and I call her Eliza, like out of Hamilton. So add Peggy, correct. Producer Anna has just jumped in. Add Peggy. We always go, Eliza, say, get me a cup of tea, Kate. That's what we need to do. Right. I need a conversation about because some of the things we'll come back to that in a minute, but I know that Liv goes through kind of her everyday celebrations, like the special days that we are on today. And, some of this, I live by these, by the way. If you ever make content in the world, or if you ever do any kind of marketing or have anything going out into the world where you need to captivate an audience, one of the really easy ways to plan ahead is to know what kind of days are going on to celebrate and to give you inspiration for content. But I've got a really lovely list here. So I've got National Blueberry Popover Day. Now, what's a popover? What's a popover? Someone explain that to me. Producer Anna, can you tell me what a popover is? Is it when you just go to someone's house, gonna pop over? Is it like a Pop-Tart that pops out of your toaster? I don't know. Here we go, a popover. Oh, here we go. A popover is a light roll made from an egg batter similar to that of a Yorkshire pudding, typically baked in muffin tins or dedicated to popover pan. So it's like a pancake, which have straight walled sides. So it's like a Yorkshire pudding pancake. Yorkshire pudding being those kind of nice, fatty, like waffly type mixes. Okay, so National Blueberry Popover Day. Well, happy National Blueberry Popover Day to you. I think the best thing about today is that I've discovered what a popover is. I'll be looking up that recipe when I get out of here. National Pack Your Lunch Day. Can I tell you my National Pack Your Lunch Day story? Well, it's not National Pack Your Lunch Day. So my kids went to a primary school called Oswald Road Primary School, and the Bee Gees went to Oswald Road Primary School many, many years ago. And Barry Gibb came to the school on one of those kind of, hey, guess we've got a special person coming. Barry Gibb came to my kids' school. My son was about 5 or 6, and my daughter would have been about 4 or 5. Anyway, they got everyone into this sort of assembly, and all the kids are sat on the floor cross-legged. And there's Barry Gibb, and a bunch of kids have been given like specific questions to ask Barry Gibb. And my son, bless him, at the end, they say, any other questions? He pings his little hand in the air, and just out of all these kids, he gets picked. And he says, and Barry Gibb says, so tell me, what's your question, young man? And my Louis, little kid, goes, when you came to this school, were you packed lunch or school dinners? Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees. I mean, every radio interviewer in the universe has wanted to ask that question. And I loved it that he said, were you packed lunch or school dinners? Like it was some form of identity, in the school, age 5, it matters whether you're going to have packed lunch or a cooked school dinner. And what type of person are you? Were you packed lunch or school dinners? Anyway, everybody laughed. And it was a great answer. Barry Gibb said, well, when I was a kid, back in whatever it was, I don't even know when it would have been, something like probably the 50s or something like that. He said, I used to have sugar sandwiches. Can you imagine? Like now you're like, oh, add a little layer of meat, a little bit of pastrami, little bit of lettuce, bit of mayo, pickle. And no, Barry Gibb has sugar sandwiches. Is there a girl in the Breakfast Club who has sugar sandwiches? That's amazing. Anyway, so this whole day goes on, and we find out as parents at the end of the day that Barry Gibb has been in the school, and you can imagine we're all like, singing along like this. And so everyone goes, we'll be on the news later. So the package they make for the national news, the fun kind of, the children of Oswald Road today had Barry Gibb visit. Guess who's on? The reason I know that that's what my son asked is because he was on blooming national telly asking Barry Gibb, will you pack lunch or school dinners? He said. It was so brilliant. Anyway, then about 3 months later, we went and visited Santa at Santo's Grotto. And and Santa said, because Santa obviously knows all the kids, right? But Santa said to Louis, Louis, I've seen you before, haven't I? And Louis went, yeah, I was on the telly. Kids say the best things. So happy National Pack Your Lunch Day, because Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees had sugar sandwiches in his packed lunch. It's also World Kidney Day. I have a friend who has one big horseshoe kidney, but I think we should save that story for another day. And it's also National Mario Day. National Mario Day? Anna, is it National Mario Day? Or is it just Mario Day? It just said Mario, no national. Well, should we make it International Mario Day? This is obviously a day dedicated to the Nintendo game character Mario, who flooded or filled my days when I was a kid. Even I'm pretty sure Anna's just making me laugh. Declared International Mario Day. Done, signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. Okay, so it's Mario Day today. The only connection I have with Mario is the fact that we have a secret door knock, which is the Mario. And so with kids know it's us at the door. Anyway, there is some video game trivia that I believe that we have to do, Anna. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's time for you to take part. If you want to take part in this, I want you to give me your answers. If you're watching on YouTube, fill in the YouTube comments. If you're watching on Backchannel in North America, then don't forget that you can talk directly to me. All you have to do is Eliza. You know what I mean. Eliza, say, and then give me your answer A, B, C, D. Okay. Oh, and producer Anna has just given me the tip that she's going to make the answers disappear until the correct answer is on the screen. Now, I have no idea about these questions. I've got no idea what it is. So here we go. Question number 1. What is the best-selling video game of all time? Is it A, Super Mario Odyssey, B, Minecraft, C, Dance Dance Revolution, or D, Call of Duty? Oh my goodness. We had one of these the other day, right? We had who's the best-selling female author of all time, and heritage came into it. Oh, Grass Puddle saying B, Minecraft. But Call of Duty has been around. Oh no, but Super Mario Odyssey's been around for so. Who's older? What's the oldest game on this list? Super Mario, Minecraft, Dance Dance, Call of Duty. I'm not sure. Do you know, Anna? Like, does Wikipedia to Annapedia? Don't forget that you can take. Hello, Julie. Thanks for joining the stream. If don't forget that you can ask your Amazon Echo to say the answer. So far, Grass Puddle saying B. Oh, Teresa's saying B. Minecraft as well. Oh, Kathy, who is on Facebook, says A. Okay, so C's gone. So it's we. Oh, okay. What we're going for? Okay, I'm going to go for B on the basis that more people have said B than A. What's it? Oh, well done! Well done, well done, well done. That's awesome. Okay. These are great questions because I'm going, oh, I didn't even know that happened. Question number 2. What food was Pac-Man modeled after? Shh, Anna's just spotted something. Okay, is it A, pizza, B, donut, C, macaroni and cheese, or D, apple? What do you say? Oh, I've had the wrong dashboard up, so I've been saying join in, and I've been looking at ages ago. I'm so sorry. There's loads of people who've joined the stream and are chatting in the stream, and I've completely not been paying any attention. Oh, we can come back to all of this. That's great. Okay, cool. This is fantastic. Okay, I can catch up with the messages in a minute when we've done the quiz. Freddie is saying defo A. I think you. And Freddie says I think it might be pizza. Just a hunch. What's giving you that hunch? Some days you're just in a rush, aren't you, babes? All right. So, what food was modeled after? Was Pac-Man modeled after? Well, it's going to be A and pizza, isn't it? Just wang them all off. Pac-Man creator Toru Iwatani was eating pizza when he first came up with the idea for this beloved character. Okay, Kathy A. Right. What year was the first virtual reality headset created? I like how this is all stumping me. Freddie, I'm just going back through the stream and I can see all the stuff that we were talking about with house chores in a minute. I'm going to go back to those. But I really want to know what year was the first virtual reality headset created. Welcome all of you to the stream. All I need you to do now is join in and give me the answer. Is it A, 2010, B, 1986, C, 1995, or D, 2018? 2018. What do we say? Was it 2022 or 28? I can't remember what we used to say. Producer Anna says, are your kiddos video gamers? Would they be disappointed in you? My kids are more than video gamers. My son saved up for his own Oculus headset. So we have lots of gaming in our house. 2018, first virtual reality one. Hi, Mindy. Good morning. How lovely to have you with us. There's a note here. And hey, Grass Puddle. Yeah, hello. I love it when you all say hello to each other. It's great. No, I'm just going to sit here. Is first virtual reality headset created? I'm punting. I don't know what you think, but I'm going to punt for 1986, which is B. So is it A, 2010, B, 1986, C, 1995, D, 2018? The reason I say 1986 is because if you think of the very first one, I was definitely playing games in those days. Mindy's saying A, 2010. Oh, see, look, D's gone. So Kathy, you're out, babes. D's gone. So it is. Oh, I'm wrong. B has gone. 1986. So I'm going to go then with what's left. C, 1995. Teresa's saying A as well. I was right. Yeah, there's that thing. Like we used to have a program in the UK called Tomorrow's World, which was on either a Wednesday or a Friday at 7 p.m. And they would show you like all the technological advances in the world. And you know, it's like I remember in 1982 when the CD was first. I remember these things. I remember when they showed you robots and stuff. And yes, 1995 feels like the right time for a video game headset to be created. Okay, Mario first appeared in what video game? Was it A, Super Mario Brothers, B, Donkey Kong, C, Kirby's Adventure, or D, Dr. Mario? I've got no idea. A part of me wants to say Donkey Kong, you know, but I could be entirely wrong. What do you think? Tell me in the stream. Don't forget to ask your Amazon Echo. Feels like a trick, says Freddie. Correct. It feels like a trick. Don't forget you can ask your Amazon Echo to say A, say B, say D, say E. Not E because it's not even there. Hi, Stacey. Hi, Julie. Thank you for joining in the stream. If you are on YouTube, fill in the comments. If you're on Facebook, fill in the comments. If you are on none of those things and you aren't on Backchannel, then don't forget you can go to backchannel.tv and hey, leave us a review there too. Okay, what we've got. Mario first appeared. Oh, look, things are fading away already. So D's out. Mario first appeared in what video game? A, Super Mario Brothers, B, Donkey Kong, C, Kirby's Adventure. Teresa's saying C, which is Kirby's Adventure. Mindy's saying B. Oh, is it C or B? Is it C or B? Is it C or B? It's B. I said Donkey Kong. I have a vision of him jumping over the barrels. That's why. Mario. A little plumber trying to get past the. Oh, yeah. There we go. So, Noogie, Sarah, and Julie, welcome to the stream. Don't forget that you can take part in the show today. I'm not Liv. I'm Kate. Liv is living her best life somewhere in the world, having a great time. And I'm here womaning the fort for her. And enjoying every minute with you. So please keep on joining in and keep on taking part. Right. I keep missing the fact that. I'm so interested in talking. So how have you been? I'm so interested in talking to you. I keep missing the fact that the questions keep changing. Producer Anna is a lady with all the buttons in the background, so she is doing a fantastic job back there. Okay, what was Mario's original name in Donkey Kong? A, Jumpman, B, Plumber Guy, C, Mustache Man, D, he wasn't given a name. Stacey's having pancakes for breakfast today. Stacey, you missed the beginning of the program. Which one? And I asked, what's your drink of choice in the morning? Are you a coffee lady? Do you make yourself a cup of tea? And how do you have it specifically? We've had all sorts. We've had coffee with cream and a splash of vanilla syrup, black coffee, things like that. Stacey has tea. Fantastic. I want to know how you have your tea. But in the meantime, are we A, Jumpman, B, Plumber Guy, C, Mustache Man, D, he wasn't given a name. I think D, but I'm not convinced. Oh, Mindy's saying coffee with almond milk, see? It's never as quite as simple as, "Oh, I'll just have a coffee," is it? No, I think it's brilliant how you like your own things. Um, Teresa's saying A, Jumpman. Ooh, I see, I think it's either B or D. It's either plumber guy. Oh, I think it might be B, because Anna's got rid of the one that everyone thinks it is. So is it Teresa? Is it A, Jumpman? That's yours. I'm going B, plumber guy. Got no other suggestions. What we saying? What we saying? Oh, it's between me and you. It's between me and you, Teresa. Oh, you win. Well done, Teresa. It was A, Jumpman. Okay, last question. What is the highest grossing movie based on a video game? I feel like I said that intonation slightly wrong. What is the highest grossing movie based on a video game? My kids get really cross with the way I say Little Mix. They're like, "No, why are you saying mix? It's Little Mix." I'm like, "No, it's Little Mix." Video game. Okay. What is the highest grossing movie based on a video game? A, Mortal Kombat. B, Sonic the Hedgehog. C, Detective Pikachu. Or D, Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Oh, that's hard. I want to ask if it is it well, Mindy's saying B, Sonic the Hedgehog. No, you're not. Mindy's saying D. I read the wrong bit. Tough one, she says. I know, right? Freddie's saying C. Is it like, are we oh, Teresa's saying D. No one knows. Stacey's saying B. The thing is that there have been lots of Sonic the Hedgehog films and lots of Lara Croft films. So Anna, I need to get some clarification here. Are we talking one movie or a collection of movies? Grass Puddle saying B. It's between B and D at this point. Freddie, because Ryan Reynolds. Well, let me tell you something, Freddie. Ryan Reynolds is going to feature a lot in this program today. One movie. Okay, so what have we got? What's gone? I forgot what's gone. Lara Croft went. No, Betty, sorry, Lara has gone. Lara Croft Tomb Raider, Betty says on her Amazon Echo. Oh, no. Sonic the Hedgehog's gone as well. Okay, right. Freddie, I think you might be right. Should we go Detective Pikachu? Let's do it. C, Detective Pikachu. Correct. Well done, Freddie. Gosh, those questions are hard, man. Well, no, they're not. They're the right level of challenging, I would say. Keep them hard, Anna. Oh, it's a sentence I didn't think I was going to say today. Right. So we've got some news. Anna, I need some clarification on this because I kind of jumped on a bit late. So we've got some news. This is around Tell the Truth Thursday. Okay. So I'm asking you a little bit. What would you do in this moment? Okay. So a few weeks ago, there was a company that was firing people over Zoom. Right. Let's just talk about this for a second. Obviously, we went into the pandemic and we all got very good at being virtual. And we got really good at it. Yesterday, I had a real life meeting, and there were things about the real life meeting I thought, I do kind of prefer being on Zoom. But there were things about the real life meeting that I thought, oh, it's amazing this, getting together with people and actually having some time with them. The thing is that something like a Zoom is, there are things that you have to think about depending on the places that you communicate, right? And so I had a friend who during the pandemic got made redundant while she was on Zoom. So she lost her job on Zoom via a Zoom call, and her boss just was on no screen, like didn't even put their face on screen, like had the camera off. And it's like in those moments that, tough moments, yeah? In those moments where something sad is going to happen, you kind of want to be as human as you can, don't you? I've fired someone before. I was, it was one of those moments where a contract didn't come to it. We didn't renew a contract at a radio station I was at, and no one taught me how to do it. No one said, right, we're getting rid of this person. We'll do that tomorrow morning. Here's how we're going to do it. I've done it like well, I suppose I did it more than once, but it was probably the most official one that I'd done. It was really hard, and I did the best that I could. I looked on the internet. I looked it all up and had to work out how to do it, and how to do it in a kind way. So there was uproar when this company were firing people over Zoom a few months ago, and that they go on. They laid off 900 people. I need to look at the screen. Brilliant, brilliant. There we go. So the company laid off 900 people on Zoom, just fired 3,000 more, and it didn't go any better. The company is trying to learn from its previous layoff blunder, but it's not clear anything has changed. In December, Vishal Garg went from being relatively unknown CEO of an online mortgage and services company to the boss that laid off 900 people on a Zoom call. Did he get them all in at the same time? Like, was it like, I don't know if you have it on American Idol, but there's this moment where in America, in X Factor, where they go, everyone in this room goes through to boot camp, everyone in this room did not. They were all on. He just announced, "Hey, you're fired," in a kind of apprentice type of way, like Donald Trump / Alan Sugar. "Hey, you're fired." Um, okay, so you can understand why people were outraged by that. You could also understand why a boss might go, "Well, I'll just get this done." I know that's awful to say. I've got to fire 900 people, one after the other, or I do it all on one big call. Gosh, isn't it just awful? How do you start that meeting? Like, how do you start it? "Hi, everyone. You're fired." Right. So the company says it's gonna lay off, uh, another 3,000 employees to a third of its workforce. Hang on. Sorry. In a letter to employees, interim CEO Kevin Ryan said that disruptions in the residential real estate market, mainly fewer people buying houses — I nearly read horses then — due to rising interest rates, mean the company must take difficult step of streamlining our operations further and reducing our workforce in both the US and India in a substantial way. To first glance, Ryan's email says all the right things. Um, but that awful thing, oh, this happens all the time in big corporations, doesn't it? So, except some employees reportedly received their severance pay in their bank accounts before they were even notified they were being laid off. Oh man! So we have this in the radio industry where the pre- the radio presenter finds out they've lost their job via the radio industry magazine that has been informed before them. Oopsie. Okay, so I want to know what you would do. Okay. So, well, we've got stuff about Peloton in there that is completely different. Um, the difference, I guess, people got did they got fired by letter or an email, sorry, rather than by Zoom, which I even think that, man, I think that's almost worse, isn't it, to get an email rather than a Zoom call? Anyway, it's just that generic nature of being fired. Surely a moment like that, you deserve some sort of personal touch. Or do we need to be compassionate to the people who are doing the firing, who are clearly going, "I really don't want to have to do this. This is awful. Let's just do it as quickly as possible." What do you think? What would you do in that situation? If your company was having to really restream and you had to lay off 3,000 people, how would you do it? You know that bit in The Apprentice where they go, "Right, gonna set the brief." This is where you pause it and you work out what you would do to win the competition. Like, what would you do in that situation? Just while you're thinking about that, uh, producer Anna left me a message saying, "Lord Sugar, we were on a honeymoon in the UK and absolutely died when we saw the UK Apprentice and have been trying to find a way to watch it here since." I think ours came first. The other one that I love Australian MasterChef, and so I try and watch Australian MasterChef because our MasterChef is just never as good in the UK. Right, let's have a look what we're saying. I'm gonna go into the chat now. Uh, Stacey says it's not good being laid off because of one Zoom call. That is bull. Producer Anna says, I mean, you can't take a meeting with every single one of those 3,000 people, but mass Zoom firing and even emailing, gosh, not sure. Freddie says, if you can get hired on Zoom, you can get fired on Zoom. You know what, Freddie? I think Freddie might have a point there. I think Freddie might have a point. It's like, mm, is it similar? When it comes to taking criticism, it's like, if you can't take criticism, you shouldn't take a compliment, some people say. It shouldn't matter to what people think, so that means it shouldn't matter whether people want to pay you a compliment or not. It's a tough one, this, isn't it? I do think leaders do get a bit of a bad rap. It's not easy to be a leader. If it was easy to be a leader, then everyone would do it, right? But it's not easy to stand up in front of people and make decisions because you're never gonna make everybody happy, right? Stacey says, if people can't think of a nice thing to say, then they shouldn't say anything at all. It's interesting that, isn't it? Because I don't think that anybody wants to fire anyone. It was awful having to fire someone. It was absolutely awful. Equally, if you carry on in the situation that you're in, there's a chance that you would end up having to quit the whole company. So it wouldn't just be 3,000 people. It would be an email to everyone saying, sorry, shop shut, business closed. Freddie says that's what my mum used to tell me. It's a good one, that one, isn't it? My mum used to say that if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. It's just really hard, isn't it? And I think that's why in those difficult situations, there are sort of layers of communication importance. Does that make sense? Tom Hanks released an app a few years ago. I don't know why I know this, but it was like a typewriter app. And there was something about a typewriter writing a letter that felt a bit more personal than even an email. Or, a handwritten note it feels better than a typed out letter. And you can tell when things are generic, can't you? That's the other thing. You can tell when things are generic. Okay, so I don't think we've kind of come to the kind of solution for that one. Maybe, as you say, Stacey, that idea of if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all is correct. And that actually in those situations, kindness has to rule because the fact of the matter is you're going to have to lay people off from time to time. It's just the nature of business, isn't it? It gets bigger and then smaller, and then you have to do this one way and that one way. And as a business owner, you do feel really responsible for the people that you employ because when you're paying for people to work, you're paying their mortgages, you're paying for them to go and you're paying for their health, you're paying for their kids to go to school, you're paying for all of these things on all of those people. So I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna put some compassion at the door and think and believe in intent that says that 3,000 people en masse. Yeah, you'd hope they'd have 6,000 people left, I suppose, in that story rather than one. But the point is, it's it's a really difficult one, but you have to really tap into your values, I suppose, at that point and go, right, what do we value here? What's the kindest way that we can do this? And what's the order of communication? Like, we will send out this note and then we will put your severance pay into the bank account. Things like that just need looking at, but it's not something you always think about, I suppose. Okay. Let's go straight to Freddie. Hang on a minute. To be honest, I'd rather be fired over Zoom because then I'm not stuck in a room with them. Also a good point. Hey, I haven't been fired, but I thought I was fired. And I was like, I couldn't get out of the room quick enough. I could not get out of the room quick enough. And you're absolutely right. Same with being broken up with. Yeah, you kind of want that to happen on the street, don't you? Bye. Okay, we will leave it there. Thank you very much, Freddie. I know you're going to be pleased about this because I promised you more. Oh, hang on a minute, producer Anna. Hang on. I was fired, and they said, "Hey, office manager is in the hall with a box of your things. Pack up and go home. We don't like people to stick around and be sad all day." It's so awful, isn't it? What do you do? I had to go out and think about what they'd offered me. I went out to the car park, sat in the car and burst into tears. That's why I couldn't wait to get out. I was like, I'm just going. I'm getting my bag and I'm going. Bye. Just awful. Anyway, okay. And I think actually the final thing I want to say is that no employer should ever underestimate the awful impact of rejection. Like, being part of something is so important to us as humans that if you feel rejected in any way, then you're gonna have some sort of a reaction. And so I think sometimes when it comes to getting rid of people, laying people off, changing the shape of your business, no matter how big the payoff or no matter what the kind of that feeling of rejection can really override everything for people. So you really have to work hard to get that right, no matter what platform you're doing it on. Because you're going to get caught out anyway. It's going to make a story. Anyway, I'm wagging on. Let's talk about Ryan Reynolds, everyone. I promised this, didn't I? Okay, so Ryan Reynolds has made a joke about his parents being absolute failures for letting him see R-rated movies as a kid. Should kids be allowed to watch R-rated movies? Okay, so let me just pull this up on my side, Anna, and then I can read it as you're scrolling. So he's got the Adam Project is out on Netflix, isn't it? And he used to watch. He says that as a kid, he used to watch all the movies you weren't supposed to watch, which is one of those things that a pop star, film star says as a kind of quip, and then afterwards everyone goes, "Oh, he didn't say that." The guy's 45. He's 45. But he's known for raunchier films like Deadpool, but his latest movie, The Adam Project, is for children and adults alike. Reynolds says the time travel action flick harkens back to the 1980s movies he enjoyed watching with his late dad, James. I love this. There's like real spectacle, he said. Spectacle-driven wish fulfillment. Who talks like that? There's like real spectacle-driven wish fulfillment. Something I love about 80s Amblin movies like E.T. and Back to the Future and even Stand By Me. Those kinds of movies that are steeped in nostalgia for us, he said on the Today Show on Monday. He added that the film is engineered to audience delight. I don't want to make movies that contribute to any of the weight people are already carrying around, certainly not in the last few years. These movies remind me of when I was a kid and I would watch these movies with my dad, like Back to the Future, and we would both think it was the coolest movie we'd ever seen. I thought Back to the Future was the coolest movie I'd ever seen. But the thing that I love about this is that Ryan Reynolds uses a word I have no idea what it means. Next. Ready? He says, we would both think it was the coolest movie we've ever seen. They don't bifurcate the audience. Right. So your next challenge right now is to find out what bifurcate means. Or bifurcate. Bifurcate. It sounds like someone's trolling me. Bifurcate. Right. So the audience, they really hit both kids and adults in equal measure. And later Reynolds joked that his 3 kids, daughters James, Inez, and Betty, 7, 5, and 2, with his wife Blake Lively, are like me. When I was a kid, I used to watch all the movies you weren't supposed to watch. So the one thing I'd say, I am a big fan of Ryan Reynolds. He has done a lot of brilliant. Exactly what he's talking about. So Netflix seems to be using Ryan Reynolds a lot. He's done film after film after film, like Free Guy. Great movie with Jodie Comer, who can do all the accents under the sun. Great movie. Who else? What else has he done? I've just seen it. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I can't remember what it was. It's another great Netflix movie. And The Adam Project, I'm looking forward to seeing as well. But really light, fun, indulgent films. Hilariously, Deadpool. I've got a friend who, and I'm quite, I suppose, liberal with my kids in the sense that there are benefits to letting them watch some of the programs that are probably slightly more not R-rated specifically, but like the certificate above them when they're a little bit younger. There are benefits to it. Now, I want to start this chat by saying it's totally up to you how you parent your children. And of course, I don't advocate someone watching something age 3 that is completely inappropriate. And R-rated movies are R-rated for a reason, right? They're there for our guidance. But I have certainly found some benefits to watching films that are probably slightly over their age grade. So we have a 12A certificate here and, or a 12 certificate. And I'm really careful about, making sure I've seen what I think might be suitable or I've read up on it or what have you. Red Notice. Thank you. That was it. The Rock and Gal Gadot. He was great. They were all great in that. That was a really great movie, that one. So, but Ryan Reynolds is in Deadpool, and it reminds me of my friend who was like, yeah, what's wrong with Deadpool? And she was letting her kids watch it. And I was like, you can't let them watch Deadpool. Like they're like 6. She's like, it's fine, isn't it? She hadn't checked the rating or anything. She walked in and started like fast forwarding through. Oh goodness. My kids are really sensitive to things like the sex scenes and stuff like that. So they won't watch it with me. Anyway, my story about letting kids watch things that are slightly probably above their age goes like this. It's when my husband started working away from home and I was on my own. So I'm on my own with these kids, right? And so I would let them watch things like Friends or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which, I think they're quite harmless, but there are moments where they're a little bit more adult. And if they had their wits about them, the kids would ask questions. And as a parent, it was actually really useful because what they would do is they would ask me questions about the world, sex, laws, identity, gender, things like big questions that had come up in these. What does that mean? They'd say. And it gave me an opportunity to actually have those conversations with them, which I felt was a really positive experience because it allowed them to open their mind up. And as Grass Puddle says, loads of PG movies from the 80s had loads of violence in and nudity. Um, the first R-rated movie that producer Anna, I think you watched, was the unrated version of Talladega Nights in like the 4th grade. Freddie saying IMDb has loads of parents' guidance for that kind of thing. Yeah, there's some really great websites, aren't there, that say it's like commonsense.com or something like that, gives you like the full sort of breakdown. So there's loads of really good stuff around to help. And I can tell you what bifurcation is as well in a minute. But my experience is that the kids actually got really savvy. So when they asked me like, "Mum, what does that mean?" And it was like more like on the sort of sexual thing going on, I would go, "Well," and then they go, "No, don't want to know. Stop." They did not want their mum explaining the birds and bees to them in that moment. And it is quite funny when they do it. But there was a benefit to it. Now, I'm not advocating that we just sit our 2-3-year-olds in front of R-rated movies by any stretch. But it is quite interesting, isn't it? Stacey says lots of movies that are R-rated also have violence in it. Yeah, they do. And I think the other thing is that if you even like Doctor Who, I think must be a PG. I don't know quite how, but even that used to scare me as a kid. And we watched an episode of Doctor Who when the kids were quite young, and my mum said to me, "Don't if they get afraid, don't stop it halfway through. Like make them watch it to the end because obviously all story is about that kind of resolve, isn't it?" Freddie says, "Yeah, Doctor Who was so scary. It was really scary." But it was my mum's thing was, it's scary in the middle because that's how a story is formed. By the end, it's resolved and it's not scary anymore. And actually, that's a better lesson than just thinking the world's really scary because you stop it halfway through. Yeah, producer, so they can see resolution makes sense. Right, bifurcation is like a separation from one point to several, like a point in the road. Thank you, Grass Puddle. And producer Anna told me that as well. She said, divide into 2 branches or forks. Bifurcate's the word for the day. See, we started with apricity, and right now my window, which you can't see, my window has blue sky and apricitous warm sun on your face on a cold day. And we finished the show with bifurcation. Now look, I'm going to wrap it there. I'm on again in about 5 minutes, but it's my first time doing a show of this length on my own. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes and then I'll be back for Positivity Island, where we will be doing a load of good news. And we'll be talking about a bunch of other things. So I need to get myself shipshape for that. Producer Anna has been in the background sorting this out. Thank you very much, Producer Anna. She and I will be back tomorrow with you on Backchannel at 8 a.m. Eastern. And we're going to do 2 full hours of joy. Anna, what's on the show tomorrow? What have we got? Do you know? Top 5 of the week. High Five Friday, top 5 of the week. Fist Bump Friday. I love that. Anna's been brilliant today. She's been my absolute hero. Okay, so I will be back tomorrow with you in for Liv, who is gallivanting around the world, living her best life right now. But you and I can live every day. Please hang on in there. I'll be back in 5 minutes to start Positivity Island, and I will see you then.